People have something that is sometimes called a moral compass. It's a part of our brains that basically decides what's morally right and what's wrong. When you see someone being treated badly, your brain tells you right away that something is wrong. You can tell the difference between what is right and what is wrong, no matter what happens next. Your upbringing and the environment in which you grew up have a big impact on the rules that guide your moral compass. However, most people have at least one of these compasses. Businesses build their codes of ethics and compliance on this basis, answering questions like what's right and what's wrong, and how do we make rules based on this? As artificial intelligence becomes more common and governments work to keep their laws and rules up to date with how quickly the technology is changing, AI ethics has become an important topic that everyone should know about. So what does the term AI ethics really mean? And why is it so important? There's nothing like a compass in the field of artificial intelligence. In fact, it doesn't come with any kind of compass at all. Artificial intelligence can only tell the difference between right and wrong actions if it has both the label right and the label wrong attached to it. Artificial intelligence doesn't know anything about itself, and it doesn't have empathy, which is the basis of moral behavior. When talking about artificial intelligence, the only moral compass that exists is the developer's. The developer decides what is right and wrong behavior. It is possible that the person who made the AI had bad intentions, and it's also possible that they had good intentions. This will depend on how strong the developer's moral compass is. Because AI is trained instead of coded, this does not mean that AI will always follow the above principles. This means that it could be made with good intentions, but it could still change into something that is less ethically acceptable or for good than one might have thought it would be. What does AI ethics mean? AI ethics can be defined in many different ways, but in general, it refers to a large group of factors for responsible AI that take into account safety, security, human concerns, and the environment. These definitions belong to the AI ethics group. Here are some things to know about AI ethics. Avoiding AI bias. As AIs learn from data, badly made AIs can be biased against data subsets that aren't well represented, and this happens often. In particular, AIs that haven't been taught enough may be biased against groups that aren't well represented or aren't white. Famous examples of bias, like those found in hiring tools and chatbots, have made well-known business brands look bad and put them at risk of being sued. Privacy and the debate about AI. For artificial intelligence to learn, it needs to be able to look at data. A big chunk of this information comes from the people who use the products. Users might or might not know what information is being collected about them and how that information is being used to make decisions that affect them. Even in the modern world, it is possible to track, identify, and personalize the experiences of users through things like internet searches, online purchases, and comments made on social media platforms. This can be helpful, like when an AI suggests a product that a user would be interested in, but it can also lead to bias that wasn't planned for, such as some offers being provided to some consumers and not others. Avoiding AI errors. If artificial intelligence isn't built well, it can make mistakes that could cost money or even kill people. It is important to do enough testing to make sure that artificial intelligences don't put people or the ecosystems where they live in danger. Handling AI environmental effects. Every day, AI models get more complicated. Some of the newest models have more than 1 trillion parameters each. The training of these huge models takes a lot of energy, which adds to the fact that artificial intelligence is a big user of resources. Researchers are trying to find ways to make artificial intelligences that work well and use as little energy as possible. Why is this question important? Experience has shown that following good AI ethics is not only the right thing to do, but also a must if you want to get good business value from AI. AI has shown this is true. Ethical problems can put a company in danger in many ways, such as when a product doesn't work, when it gets into trouble with the law, when it hurts the company's brand, and so on. Many countries, as well as cities and counties, are making their own rules for how artificial intelligence can be used. This means that if you want to run a successful business, you need to know not only about national AI laws, but also about the city AI laws. The Right to Explanation Clause of the EU General Data Protection Regulations and the relevant parts of the California Consumer Privacy Act are two examples of important rules about AI. The EU General Data Protection Regulations have both of these examples. At a more local level, cities in the US made decisions about how to use algorithms, especially ones that are used by police. The European Union's upcoming Artificial Intelligence Act will be one of the most important pieces of legislation in the field of AI. When people from all walks of life start using AI in their lives and jobs, AI ethics will probably become an important part of AI literacy for most people. Students in middle school and high school learn about AI ethics today, and students in professional business courses learn about how to use AI in a responsible way. If laws like the AI Act become more common, it's likely that information about AI ethics will get out to the public. So why does it matter so much whether or not technology has ethics? If that's the case, we risk not being ethical if we don't build technology with ethics in mind and don't make it a point to make sure we understand the end result of every algorithm we run. To be clear, when I say ethical, I don't mean eat with a fork and knife. That's what I mean by ethical. I don't mean being racist or making up lies about people who aren't guilty. Does it seem like a lot? There are already examples of how biased information may have led to racist decisions. Now, to make things even scarier, there was that time when Facebook made 2 artificially intelligent bots that could talk. For a short time, they used English to talk to each other. After that, though, they started making their own language, which the people who made it couldn't understand. Is that against the rules? Since people can't always keep track of what's going on, it's possible that both the results of those conversations and what was said in them could be considered unethical. Artificial intelligence doesn't know anything about itself, and it doesn't have empathy, which is the basis of moral behavior. Take charge of what's going on. Here's the definition of ethics to help us remember. A person's behavior is based on moral principles, and those principles are called ethics. Since we can't control how the things we make behave, how can we judge whether or not they are moral? We must always be the ones to decide how artificial intelligence will act. This is something you must do. We don't want to slow down the development of features like self-learning because that would defeat the purpose of having such a feature in the first place. This means 2 different things in the end. An ethical framework needs to be built into the reason why a certain piece of technology with AI is being made. The outputs of that piece of technology need to be checked, monitored, and policed so that we can fully understand how it works and make sure it doesn't go against our human sense of right and wrong. So ethics should not only be seen as important in technological advances, especially AI, but it should also be the foundation for all innovations. We can't take the chance of making tools that go against moral standards. Just because we can doesn't mean we should be our motto whenever something has the potential to be wrong for the sake of technological progress or making money. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video.